Hey Bible fans, today I'm here with a battle of the Bibles. We have on the left the Cambridge NRSV, which came out in 2018, and on the right the Allan NRSV, which came out in 2019. The Allan comes out in four colors: black, brown, blue, red. Cambridge is a single color burgundy, but it also comes in a lower cowhide and French Morocco, which give you a couple other color choices. So there you have that. The two contenders both contain Apocrypha, and both were bound at Charfleet in the UK. So I'm not going to discuss quality, like as in who did the better job, because they're made the same place, and I suspect there's a little bit of variety even within the same Bibles. So in other words, one Allan might look a little better than another, etc. So I'm going to call that equal. We're just an assumption across the line. All right. This battle will be multiple rounds, and perhaps you like to think of it like a great basketball series. The Lakers versus the Celtics of the 1980s. Two superstars, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and back and forth. Sometimes one won the game, and sometimes the other did, and certainly no dominated completely. So let's look at the different aspects of these Bibles. First of all, ribbons. The Cambridge has two 10mm burgundy reddish ribbons. You can probably see them pretty good here at the top. The Allan has three, looks like navy blue, or blue at least, 10mm ribbons. I don't know if the Cambridge is Beresford. I know the Allan is. But we're going to call this a tie. Two ribbons, three ribbons is not a breaker for me. If it had been one ribbon, I would have given it to the Bible that had more than one. But 2 and 3 is very similar. Yap. Yap is the amount of the leather extends beyond the block. And here we have on the left the Cambridge, and on the right the Allan. Allan advertises as a semi-yap, and Cambridge is a full standard yap. That means a little more than a standard, but not a full semi-yap yet. So I prefer yaps, and that means the bigger the yap, the better. Full yap best. So I'm going to give 1 point to Allan for yaps. So now Allan is ahead, 1-0. Gilding. The Cambridge has the very light pink under gold art gilding, and the Allan has the speckled. You can see my other video on this Allan, speckled, unique gilding, but it's not art gilded. I'm going to call, just because the Allan is unique. I would prefer the art gilding in any other case, but the Allan is unique, so we're going to give it a little bit of bump, and we're going to call this a tie. There you go. So we have the Allan is now ahead after the third round, 1-0 with two ties. Paper. Oh, paper matters a ton to me. Opacity, color, texture, feel, all this matters. I understood the Cambridge had a 35 GSM, and the Allan has 36. The Allan's a little more white. I prefer the creamier paper of the Cambridge. I'll just be frank. Slightly, but enough so that I can give Cambridge a point on this factor. So after 4 rounds, we have the Allan with 1 point, the Cambridge with 1 point, and there were two ties. Print. This is a great comparison because these are both 9-point. If they'd been 1-10 and 1-9, I would have said I want the 10, but that's not the case. So we have the boldness of the print, and the type of print, and the line spacing, the amount of distance between the lines as well. Size of margins also, the width of margins, all this matters, of the columns. I prefer the Cambridge text just slightly. I'm not sure it's darker They look about equal, but the Cambridge might be slightly darker. I'll let you all call that one. But because I prefer the text type in the Cambridge, I'm going to call the Cambridge the winner of the type of print. So now we have the Cambridge is pulled ahead, 2 to the Allan's 1. Margins. Well, the Cambridge has your standard margins. And as I said in the Allan video, the Allan has wider margins. That's just what it means. So, I prefer the wider margin, and I'm going to give a point to Allan. There you go. We now have a 2-2 tie. And that's basically about the end of the first quarter. So we'll call these two great teams, Lakers, the Celtics, have ended the first quarter in a tie. Maps and indexes. This is tricky. Very tricky for me for several reasons. The Cambridge and the Allan are my two favorite maps. I've not yet grown accustomed to the new Skylar map that BR1 has put in there, but I think the colors are a little bolder in the Cambridge. I would say that they're both multicolor. It's a little slicker paper in the Cambridge, but you know, there's 15 maps in the Cambridge, and I believe there's 16 in the, there's 9 in the Allan. So 15 isn't going to change my mind. They both have indexes. They're both gorgeous. I don't know I could call either one better, so we're going to call this another tie. Just great. I have a number of copies of the maps in the Oxford type, and only a couple Bibles with the Cambridge, the newer Cambridge type. So we have a 2-2 tie. There we go. Presentation page. Cambridge gives you a single ubiquitous page, and that's it. You can put your kids' names there. You can put a dedication to yourself, whatever you want, just do it. Allan has gone old school and has multiple pages of the usual children, grandchildren, marriages, etc. Since I prefer the simpler, I'm calling Cambridge the winner of the presentation pages, and that pulls them ahead 3 points to 2. Lined writing paper. Well, this is a breakaway, uncontested shot. Allan has it, 32 pages lined paper. Cambridge has none. So we'll give the point to Allan. So, the end of the first half, we have both teams with 3 points, tied 3-3. Inner gilt line. Allan has it. This is the gold line in the interior. Cambridge doesn't. A point for Allan. Now Allan's ahead, 4-3. References. I looked at them. I think they're identical. If I'm wrong, somebody talk to me. I do like the fact that the Cambridge is a bolder. They're giving their the main reference in a bolder print, whereas the Allan it's slightly bolder, but not considerably bolder. Easier to find in the Cambridge, and both use the dotted line system in the interior. We'll call this a tie, though. So we're still at. Allan's ahead 4-3. Lay open flat. This is where usually Allan just wipes out the opponents. But the truth is, they were both done at the same bindery. And Cambridge is the most Allanish Cambridge I have ever seen. So, I'm calling that a tie too. They both lay flat. There you go. The leather. Now this is hard. Highland has been the gold standard. It is Allan's flagship leather. It comes in slight variations if you've had a number of Highland goatskin Bibles, but they have a unique grain to them. The New Zealand is a wonderful soft leather. It's a premium, high quality, love it leather. But just based on the uniqueness of Highland, not the quality, I'm going to give the point to Allan on this. So we have Allan now ahead 5-3, and it looks like who's going to be the winner. So we are at the end of the third quarter, and Allan has pulled ahead. The liners. I don't know the material in the Cambridge, I'll be frank. I believe it's leather. I believe from last year my review and questions I asked Cambridge is leather. The Allan is calfskin. So we're going to call this a tie. But the Cambridge is a smoother, where Allan is a more normal, grainier type of leather. And that would be whichever one you prefer might be the factor there. Cover writing and symbol. The Cambridge has the lovely NRSV symbol with Holy Bible on the front cover. I would rate the spines on both about equal. Well, they're done the same place. And same style, lines, not hubs. So, I'm going to call Cambridge the winner on cover lettering and symbol. So now Allan is up 5-4. Concordance and glossary. Allan has none. And that's probably because the Collins block didn't have any. Most Allans have a concordance, but this one has none. The Cambridge has a glossary, which is a combination of concordance with a few small definitions. Useful. Some of the newer Bibles have this method. It's great. So I have to give it to the Cambridge. Cambridge has a concordance / glossary. Allan doesn't. So now we are in a 5-5 tie. It's 1 minute left. So how do I decide? You know, these two great Bibles, in my opinion, the two finest NRSV premiums to come out of a publisher, not counting rebinds, are these. So which one is the best? I go back to something form factor. The Cambridge is a thicker Bible. It is obviously a little shorter. I prefer the style of the thinner, little bigger Bible. And that's about it. This Allan is even a little fat for me at 1.5 inches. I even prefer maybe 1.25 inches, more like a long primer. But form factor alone, I'm going to call this a win for Allan. A shot at the buzzer wins it for Allan. And if there had been no Allan come out this year, I don't know if I would have missed it, because the Cambridge is so excellent. But just on the technicalities of we have to have a winner, I'm going to call the Allan the winner, and it comes in 4 colors. That's probably the other thing. All right. God bless.